What's happening? Welcome to another episode of the Wildcast podcast. I am Justin Spears here with Michael Lev, senior writer and columnist from The Star. We're going to have a fun episode because now that we are in late May, almost here in June, we're pretty much at the end of the school year, at the end of the sports calendar year for the Arizona Wildcats. Now, there are still some teams participating, right? We've got men's golf coming up with the NCAA championships out there at Omni La Costa Resorts in Carlsbad, California. You still got Arizona Track and Field still doing their thing as well. So, there's still sports to be played, but we're pretty much going to, wrap up the Arizona sports year and just kind of look back on some important moments. And we've got some awards. I actually wrote a story for Tucson.com, as I do every year, for, our top picks for the Arizona Wildcats. And we have a number of categories that we're going to look at, the categories for the awards, the Wildcasties, if you will, Lev. We've got best team, best moment, coach of the year, women's athlete of the year, men's athlete of the year, transfer of the year, because now in the era of the transfer portal, that tends to happen a lot. And then now we've got freshman of the year as well. So those are the categories. Before we get into the awards and Lev's counter arguments to my picks, I want to give a huge shout out to our presenting sponsor, Pima Federal Credit Union. Pima Federal, whether you're saving for your first car, buying a home, or growing your business, Pima Federal, they put your goals first. They offer personalized solutions, competitive rates, and expert guidance every step of the way. And at Pima Federal, banking isn't just about money, it's about you. Learn more by visiting pimafederal.org. All right, Lev. So, how you been, man? It's been a minute since we've done one of these.
Doing well, Justin. I just want to add a couple things to your opening here. I think all of our podcasts are fun. First of all, not just this one.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
And secondarily, I believe the pronunciation of the course is La Costa.
Oh, so I say La Costa?
La Costa.
La Costa. Sorry,
you're going with you're going with the traditional Spanish pronunciation.
It's Casa Grande, not Casa Grande.
It's been gringoized over the years, I guess, but I think it's like Costco, right? It's not Costco. La Costa. But yeah, so we've got golf and track still going. But award season is here. So we're gonna dive right in here, see what Justin came up with. If you haven't read the article, you of course still can. It's up there at Tucson.com. He's gonna present his pick. He's gonna give a little argument, and then I will give sort of an alternative idea for each one. So yes, this will be fun. And we love doing this every single spring to kind of put a bow on this on the season for Arizona sports.
So we're going to start from the last one on the story and then work our way up, right?
Oh my gosh, curveball.
That's what they do in these awards, right? They kind of get the smaller ones, with all due respect to the freshmen and the transfers of the year. But then
you don't do best picture in the first 5 minutes of the Oscars, then no one would watch the rest of the show.
Yeah, right. So we got to get best supporting cast member, soundtrack, all of that. So the first category is freshman of the year, the youngsters. These are the folks who have been here for a year, maybe two. They could be a redshirt freshman. But, these are guys or ladies that have really impacted the Arizona Wildcats in their early careers at the U of A. I had a few from Arizona men's basketball. Koa Pete, Ivan Karchenkov. They're included in this list. Sydney Vanek, who is a track and field star. She actually was a volleyball player, and she was a dual athlete or a multi-sport athlete. And now she is committed full-time to track and field, so she's no longer playing volleyball. And then Duncan Henderson, who is one of the many all Big 12 selections that Arizona had from swim and dive. And then I put Riley Holder. Riley Holder, the pitcher from the U of A softball team. She was the number 2 pitcher behind Jalen Adams. Had a a solid year. I think that, she had some growing moments and some lessons learned, but I think all in all, when it's all said and done, Riley Holder will be a really great player for Arizona. But my selection was Braden Burries, Arizona's freshman two guard for the men's basketball team. He led the Wildcats in scoring, a team that has a lot of really good players, including the Big 12 player of the year in Jaden Bradley. To lead that team in scoring, I think says a lot. Now, of course, you're a shooting guard, right? So it's, you get a lot of points when you're the two guard in Tommy Lloyd's system, really any system. But to me, Braden Burries, and it's crazy to think that I'm giving him freshman of the year for how, kind of sluggish he got off to his career at Arizona. I remember a lot of people were like, what's going on with Braden Burries? And I felt like, hey, he's a freshman. There's going to be a moment where it clicks. And when it clicks, he's going to take off. And it certainly did. He led Arizona in scoring, and that's why he's my freshman of the year.
Yeah, very good choice, to be sure. When I did that power ranking of the 8 guys in the rotation, and I'm trying to remember where Braden, I think he might have been 3rd in there, but you could have made the case for him being 1st and being their most important player because of his scoring ability inside and out, right? It wasn't just one trick pony either. Like, he was able to drive the ball with strength and quickness and decisiveness, and also shoot it from range. He was their secondary ball handler. If Jaden Bradley had to come off the court because of fouls or needed rest, Braden Burries took over at point guard. And then he was awesome after like the first handful of games.
Yeah,
looked like he was struggling. I thought like, man, maybe this guy needs some time in the weight room. Another season. No, I was totally wrong. He's probably going to be, a top 12 pick in the NBA draft after this 1 year, which was a spectacular year to be sure. But I will present the case. This is the only time I went off the grid here where there wasn't somebody that you listed because I wasn't sure if redshirt freshmen were eligible or not.
sure.
You said that they are. So I picked Tony Lira of the baseball team. It was not a good year for baseball. To be sure, worst year in a long, long time, did not make the NCAA tournament, did not even sniff the NCAA tournament, didn't even make the Big 12 tournament. But Tony Lira was a bright spot. He redshirted his freshman year, a year ago. He started every single game this year at first base, and he led Arizona in almost every offensive category that exists. Batting average, on base, slug, OPS, total bases, hits, doubles. At 343, 19 doubles, 929 OPS, played really good defensive first base as well. So I gave this one to Tony Lira of the U of A baseball team.
Heck yeah. Congratulations. All right. How about transfer of the year, Lev?
Yeah.
This one, in contention, Chris Hudson, number 4 wide receiver for Arizona, or number 4 on the field. He was Arizona's leading receiver this year. But, we talked about how number 4 has been really good for Arizona at that wide receiver position, starting with Tetaroa McMillan, and then now it's carried over to Chris Hudson. Maybe DJ Jordan has a good year this upcoming season for Arizona, the transfer from USC. But, Chris Hudson was awesome, especially in the second half of the season, man. I mean, going into the bowl game, or I think he might have finished it by the end of the season, but like 42 first down catches, like that's an insane number for Chris Hudson. So I put Chris Hudson as the guy in contention, along with Grace Jenkins from the softball team, Serenity Trice, Michaela Purdue before her injury for the women's basketball team. She was leading the Wildcats in scoring, kind of like a Tony Lira situation where it's like it's a bad team, but hey, she's been the bright spot. And then, some other players picked it up, but she was certainly the leading scorer. And then Javen Watley. But my winner is Mason Lawyer from the U of A track and field team, who transferred in from Washington State. He's originally from Boise, Idaho. He won the 100-meter and 200-meter events at the Big 12 championships this year, which is crazy. And the last Wildcat to do that in a conference tournament setting was Michael Bates in 1991. And we're talking about a guy who is an all-pro kick returner and Olympic medalist. So when you're in the same company as that guy, pretty good stuff there. So I got Mason Lawyer as my winner.
Yeah, I think an excellent choice. I saw a quote from Mason recently where he said it was helpful to be in a conference. He transferred over from Washington State, which has been, kind of conference-less in most ways the last couple of years because of, the destruction of the Pac-12. They are putting the Pac back together again in sort of a different form. So, there will be a little bit more continuity as far as conference affiliation goes for Washington State, Oregon State, and the rest. But Mason said that being in the Big 12 helped him to kind of, he could measure himself against others, right? I mean, this particular, this sport, you're like literally racing against other people in your conference, right? And it's pretty easy to figure out where you stand because you can look at the times, or you can look at, who's next to you when you extend your chest across the finish line. So yeah, really great year for Mason Lawyer. That's not over yet either. As we're recording this today on May 27th, U of A has almost 30 athletes at the West Regional of the NCAA tournament, or whatever you call it, the NCAA championship, I guess. And We'll see who among those 29 student athletes advances to the nationals, which I believe are always in Eugene, Oregon, right? Which is the track capital of America. All right. So my alternative for transfer of the year is Grace Jenkins of the softball team. She was the player of the year in the Big East at UConn, had great 3 seasons over there, but she wanted to experience like a step up in competition, right? Like play for an elite program, go as far as you can go in the NCAA tournament. She did get to go experience Oklahoma City. She talked about that because that's where the Big 12 tournament was. Unfortunately, the Wildcats fell short of making it to the World Series this year, but Grace had a great year. She moved from catcher to right field, had 14 home runs, 65 RBIs, 336 batting average, and she came up big in big moments. When Arizona beat Texas Tech, first game of that series, she had 2 home runs and 7 RBIs. When Arizona defeated Marshall in the first round of the Durham Regional in the NCAA tournament, 2 homers, 6 RBIs. So Grace Jenkins is my alternative choice for transfer of the year.
All right, now to men's athlete of the year. Boy, this is a stacked group, Lev.
Yep.
This is a stacked group. We could go with Mason Lawyer, right?
Sure.
We could go with Tomas Lukminas from the Arizona Swim and Dive program. We could go with Filip Jakubczyk, who is a 3-time first-team all-conference player, going back to the Pac-12 days, and now 2-time all-Big 12 choice. Even his cohort, Zach Polo, you can make a case for him as well. Both guys who were co-champions at the Marana Regional. Jay Friend, ITA All-American, led Arizona to the Elite Eight, led them to unprecedented territory under Clancy Shields. Jaden Bradley, the Big 12 Player of the Year, the Arizona point guard. At point guard, you led Arizona to its first Final Four in 25 years. Man, what a group. But my selection was Arizona quarterback Noah Fafita. And this might be a little biased, Lev, because I'm the Arizona football writer, and I've gotten to know Noah. I'm closer with Noah than all these other guys that I just mentioned, as far as like a working personal relationship. But I mean, to see Noah turn things around from that offense that Dino Babers tried to implement here at Arizona, and working with Seth Dagey in the last year, and being so productive and evolving as a player, using his legs more. The bowl game situation, right, where everyone was so bitter about Traden Stukes, Dalton Johnson, Genesis Smith opting out. But you know who was there in that game trying to push Arizona to a win? Noah Fafita. The plays that he made offensively in that bowl game throughout the course of the season, and the highlight for me was, on the road at Cincinnati, the Bearcats were favored to win that game. They were ranked. They had Brendan Sorsby. That was a hard-fought game. And, in the past, we've seen Arizona lose those kind of games. And Cincinnati, it felt like they were maybe starting to get a little bit of momentum, or they're, getting back into the game, and they're going to have their moment super late. And then Noah Fafita throwing that touchdown to Gio Richardson to pretty much silence the crowd, and also put him over the top as the career touchdowns leader at Arizona. That was a football moment I will never forget. So just thinking about all the moments of Noah Fafita, and then for him to triple down on Arizona, even when things got bad, he's like, no, I'm not running from this fire. We're going to turn things around. And they did. So to me, all the different things that Noah Fafita has brought to Arizona in the last couple of years, especially in the last year, I got to say he's my pick for men's athlete of the year.
Man, it's tough to argue against Noah Fafita. He is the face of the franchise, the single most important player in that program, which experienced a really terrific turnaround, after a disappointing and frustrating 2024 campaign. I mean, Noah does it. You've got this, you can cite all the stats you want. He's got those. You can cite the leadership, right? Because he's got all of that stuff, all the intangibles you could possibly want, and loyalty, right? Love for the community, love for the university, love for the program. Like what a dude. If he has the year that we all think he's capable of having this year, like he's going to go down as truly one of the greatest athletes in the history of Arizona athletics, like regardless of sport.
It's not just Arizona football, like Arizona athletics, period. I mean,
overall, yeah.
I already think he's the greatest quarterback in Arizona football history with the storylines. And then another thing, Lev, that I didn't even mention, he's the first Arizona quarterback in 50 years to get first team all conference honors. Brent Brennan was 3 years old the last time Arizona had an all conference quarterback. So,
I mean, that's a really, really long time. Like, granted, like, the Pac-12, which was the conference that Arizona was in most of that time, had a lot of really good quarterbacks, but to not get a single one over, that entire time period is kind of insane.
Yeah.
But he did it. He broke through, and hell, he could do it again this year. But per the format, I must come up with an alternative. So my choice, the case I'm going to make, is for Jay Friend of the men's tennis team. Number one player on a team that advanced to the Elite Eight for the first time in program history. 20-3 record on that number one court. Finished the year ranked number 3 nationally in the collegiate rankings, and he's ranked, I think, 432nd in the world among all men's tennis players. He was an All-American for the second straight year. He won a gold medal, multiple gold medals actually, at the World University Games last summer. He also won at the ITA All-American Championships in September. First Arizona player to do that. And then he won an ATP Challenger event in Fairfield, California in October. And that was all before the season even started, where he was, the best player on one of the best teams in the country. So my alternative to Noah Fafita is Jay Friend of Arizona men's tennis.
Next category, women's athlete of the year. Man, another stacked field. I could have gone with Sydney Stewart from Arizona softball, who had an unbelievable season at the plate, especially in conference play. I think Kenzie Fowler brought it up to Spears and Ali that in Big 12 play, Sydney Stewart was batting .495, which is just absolutely insane. So great selection there. Charlotte Back, women's golf, the number one player for that team. She's LPGA level good. She's a really good golfer. Jordan Wilson from the U of A volleyball team. She was a first team all Big 12 selection. Reagan Shockey, another superstar for the Arizona softball program. And then Emma Gates, a star for the Arizona track and field program. But to me, Lev, this was a no-brainer. This was one that led Arizona triathlon to a national championship for the second year in a row, and that is Miss Kelly Wetland. Kelly, like I said, not only led Arizona to a championship, but she was also the individual champion too. So Her just being an outright champion, bringing another national title to Arizona. Yeah, you definitely got to give her the nod for Women's Athlete of the Year.
Yeah, I really couldn't come up with what I would call like a legit alternative to Kelly Wetland. I thought you made the right choice, indisputably. Basically, best player on the best team in the country, right? That's kind of what you would call Kelly Wetland, as they repeated as national champs. But I had to come up with something, right? I thought about Sydney Stewart, but she did not perform that well in the postseason. Teams pitched around her. She kind of got a little bit impatient at the plate, and she struggled a little bit. So I eliminated her from consideration. Charlotte Back, you mentioned her, but she got injured at the end of the season and was unable to participate again in the regional. And, that was a big factor in Arizona not advancing. So I selected Emma Gates of the track team as my alternative choice for female athlete of the year. She was an All-American, first team All-American for the indoor season. According to her bio, participated in 6 events during the indoor season, and she was the winner in the high jump in 3 of those events. Not bad. Additionally, last summer, she was a participant in the World Championships in Tokyo, representing the Block A halfway across the world. So really good year for Emma Gates. Again, still going. One of, I think, 3 U of A athletes participating in the women's high jump at regionals down there. At Fayetteville, she could solidify her resume even more if she makes it to, the NCAA Nationals up in Eugene. So Emma Gates, track and field, is my alternative selection for female athlete of the year.
Hell yeah. Ooh.
There we go.
The crowd is so delayed. Come on, guys, wake up. Let's go.
They were stunned, right? I'm trying to. There we go. We don't have. We know what we need is we need like a clip of like the orchestra like playing people off the stage in case whether it's you or me or when we have Jordan Ham on during the fall, like if we're just going on too long, like one of us just plays that clip
like something like that. All right, we gotta go to commercial break. Up next, Coach of the Year. All right, no, seriously, Coach of the Year is next. Lots of good choices, Lev. Again, another stacked field.
I'm gonna surprise you with mine, by the way.
Ooh, okay, all right. Mm-hmm. So Lev's gonna pick Chip Hale. So Jim Anderson, men's golf. I mean, great year. Longest tenure coach currently at the U of A, because after Fred Harvey retired, Jim Anderson, who's been there since 2012, he's now the longest tenure coach. And him taking Arizona back to the NCAA championships, dominating the Marana Regional. Just a great season for Arizona men's golf. Swimming and diving, got Ben Lures, Dwight Dumas. Is it Dumas or Dumas? I feel like I should know how to pronounce this guy's name. But anyways, he was the diving coach of the year for the Big 12.
Okay.
Brent Brennan, the turnaround with the Arizona football program, going from 4-8 to then 9-4. I mean, what a turnaround for the Wildcats. And Brennan, the decisions that he made regarding his staff and, getting the right players in place, just a great leader of men and a great leader for the Arizona football program. Wesley Johnson. I mean, this guy, Lev, has won a national championship more times than he has not. 3 years, Arizona has won 2 national championships from the triathlon program. And then, of course, you got Tommy Lloyd, one of 2 coaches to take Arizona to a Final Four. The first time Arizona has been to a Final Four since 2001. Tommy Lloyd has done a great job being the architect of Arizona basketball and building on the tradition that has come before him. And I think, this won't be the last time we see Arizona in a Final Four for the, for several years. I think, it's going to be a common thing for Arizona. But, I'm going with Clancy Shields, Lev, just because I think about the expectations, right? And I mean, with expectations, maybe you could make a case for Brent Brennan. But I think about the position that Arizona men's tennis was in. I mean, this was like Arizona losing Sean Elliott in basketball. You know, you lost the guy that was the face of Arizona tennis and built up a program that is so well respected nationally. And now he's competing professionally and it is a great tennis player. Losing that, Lev, I thought, okay, even with Jay Friend and, some of the other guys that they have, it's going to be a good year for Arizona men's tennis. But, I mean, contending for a national championship, that might be a stretch. And Jay Friend dominated this year. And the team, according to Clancy Shields, was probably closer than any team that he has ever had. And I think the culture with Arizona men's tennis, it's the reason why they are out here going to the Elite Eight when the expectations this year weren't for those guys to really do much. So I think Clancy Shields, what he has done, it is kind of Lute Olson-esque at a tennis level. And I think, eventually we're going to see Arizona men's tennis right there on the cusp of winning a national championship. So I'm going with Clancy Shields for my coach of the year.
Yeah, it's a very solid choice. We had Clancy on the show a couple weeks ago. If you haven't listened to that one, I highly recommend that you do. It doesn't matter that the tennis season is over because we talked a lot of big picture stuff about building a program and the tennis's place in this ever changing and evolving world of college sports. And he had a lot of bangers, a lot of great lines, a lot of inspirational words to bestow upon us in that pod. So
have you seen Ted Lasso?
I would, of course. Yeah.
Is he Ted Lasso-esque?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Because his positivity,
yeah, I know, right?
Off him.
Yeah,
and I'm like, man, I feel better about myself talking to Clancy Shields. I can see why guys want to play for him.
That is a great call. I would add one. This is not my choice, but I'd say I add one to your honorable mentions. Charita Stubbs, who led the volleyball team back into the NCAA tournament, where they hadn't been in a while. So that was kind of a big deal. You could definitely make a strong case for Tommy Lloyd for this one, right? Leading the team back to the Final Four with, somewhat untraditional, at least I wouldn't say untraditional, but uncommon in these times, the way that they put their roster together. Mm-hmm. Faith that he put in freshmen, where, most of the time it feels like these days it's like transfer to build your lineup or your rotation. But he's not my choice. My choice is actually Brent Brennan of the football team. And I chose Brent because I felt like he had the most pressure on him of anyone on this list, right?
For sure.
Like, swim and dive, they're kind of starting over. So, there's a honeymoon period built in there. If Tommy only made it to the Elite Eight, it still would have been considered a successful season. And I mean, they've been rolling, under his leadership. Clancy, great choice. Can't argue with it. Can't win the argument anyway, because Elite Eight for the first time in program history, as you mentioned, they lost their best player, Colton Smith, maybe the best player in the history of the program. But no one had a steeper hill to climb than Brent Brennan. And I thought he nailed just about every decision in the offseason leading up to the season. And that's what really led them to having so much success. He changed all of the coordinators, which was badly needed after the way things went the previous year. And the guys he chose was like bang, 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 right? Like Danny Gonzalez, incredible defensive coordinator. Seth Dagey did such a good job working with Noah Fafita and getting the most out of that offense. Craig Nivar, I actually thought did a good job with special teams and didn't necessarily have like the best personnel to work with in the kicking game. And I think they're going to be better in that regard this year. Brent also brought on Joe Salavea to coach the defensive line. That was a dramatic change and needed one. And there was a ton of improvement in that position. And then also just kind of the way that he went about establishing the culture. Like it was hard to do that first year, right? You sort of felt like maybe some guys were 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Wasn't his team. It became his team, his culture, and he was clearly more comfortable in his own skin in year 2 as the head coach of Arizona football. They had a great year, got rewarded with a contract extension, as did several of his assistants. So now they're able to build on this, hopefully, establish some continuity and really make Arizona into a consistent winner, hopefully, with the foundation that has been laid. So Brent Brennan, U of A football coach, is my choice for coach of the year.
Love the choice, Lev. All right. Let's go to best sports moment of the year for the Wildcats. My honorable mentions: triathlon winning a national championship, and then how they did it too. They beat ASU, which finished in second place, and a year prior to that, they were the ones who dethroned ASU, the 6-time triathlon national championship winning Sun Devils. So in back-to-back years, kind of sticking it to ASU and winning a national championship. That's a twofer for Arizona. Arizona men's tennis advancing to the Elite Eight. U of A men's golf and their run to the NCAA championships and their dominant performance at the Marana Regional. Arizona football quarterback Noah Fafita setting the U of A career touchdowns record. And then last but certainly not least, Jaden Bradley's game-winning shot against Iowa State in the Big 12 tournament. But I chose Arizona advancing to the Final Four, winning that Elite Eight. I was down on University for that game, and as soon as it was like put away that Arizona was going to advance to the Final Four, I could feel Tucson, Arizona just exhaling all at once, like, oh, finally, it's about damn time. And to see the happy faces, the smiles on people at 1:30 in the morning outside of McHale Center as they welcome in the Arizona basketball team and their incredible run to their first Final Four in 25 years. Man, what a moment, man. And, it's something I'll never forget. And I think, growing up here in Tucson, Arizona, I have seen the heartbreak. I remember watching Arizona losing to Duke in the national championship in 2001. I was very, very young. That was like some of my earliest basketball memories. But Arizona, since that year, gone to the Elite Eight many times, Sweet 16, and there's just so many disappointing moments. And there have been so many great teams, right? Like, how many teams have we seen come through Tucson, Arizona, with Tommy Lloyd and Sean Miller, we're like, man, this is the year. This is the year they're going to do it. I thought Salim Stoudemire and Channing Frye and all those guys, I thought, man, if they just get past Illinois, they're going to win a national championship. And they had those suckers on the ropes. And then Darren Williams and Luther Head and those guys all of a sudden come back and rally back from a 15-point deficit. Frank Kaminsky and Sam Decker. I mean, if you mention those guys' names to Arizona fans, they like recoil. It's like Voldemort and Harry Potter. So I just think that the heartbreak of all, the 2+ decades of Arizona basketball, and for Arizona fans to finally experience that, to me, that is the best sports moment of the year, regardless of how the season ended.
Yeah. I mean, I think you made the right choice, to be sure. I love how you phrased it too. It was sort of like, there was obviously exhilaration and excitement, but there was also just relief, right? You could exhale, finally going back to the Final Four. Obviously things didn't work out well. Once they got there, they ran into a real wagon in Michigan, which ended up winning the national championship and was clearly the best team out there. I think that was the only team that could have beaten Arizona.
Yeah.
Which just so happened to have an off night at the wrong time. But yeah, clinching the Final Four. I mean, they had many celebrations this year, net cutting ceremonies and whatnot, but that's the best one. That's the sweetest one by far. So I think it's a great choice. But according to the rules of engagement here, I need to come up with an alternative. So I am going to pick men's tennis clinching the berth into the Elite Eight for the first time. During the show with Clancy, I expressed my regret for not being able to attend this event. And the reason that I think it actually stands a chance in this competition, and you can make a case for it, is it happened on campus, right? That is a rare thing. for something, an event of that magnitude to happen on campus. Because usually it happens somewhere else, right?
Neutral site.
Neutral site of some sort, some regional, some place, even golf clinching, spot in the NCAA championships. That was in Marana. It was beautiful up there, like awesome course. It's home, quote unquote, but it's not on campus.
Yeah.
Baseball clinching, the last Pac-12 championship ever a couple years ago at High Corbett. Very cool. Still not on campus. I think softball has probably done this many times, over the years, hosting super regionals and whatnot. But that to me is what makes it stand out, that men's tennis was able to do it right in the heart of campus. And it really felt like, watching the videos after the fact and everything, that it was a real vibe. It was a real scene. It was like a singular moment in time, and that's what the award was, right? It's the best moment of the year. So my alternative choice for best moment of the year for U of A sports, men's tennis clinches a spot in the Elite Eight for the first time in program history, and they did it on campus.
Okay, last category.
Yeah.
Best team.
Mm-hmm.
Best team. So triathlon, again, national champions. You could just easily put them in.
Yep.
They were inducted into the Arizona Hall of Fame, or the first team was this past year. So just, I have nothing but great things to say about Wesley Johnson, the triathlon program. Men's golf and their run to the NCAA championships and how they did it. Men's tennis, of course, man, all the things that Lev just said. Swim and dive. They've had a very dominant year this year. Lots of all-conference selections from them. And then football. Football and the turnaround that they've had and just all the cool moments, right? Like I think back and I'll never forget how grumpy I was, but like the weather delays and the, going through the conference schedule and those tough losses to BYU and to Houston, and everyone's like, okay, now the pressure's on Arizona. How are they going to answer? And they responded with that winning streak to end the regular season. And then you also had a win over ASU for the Territorial Cup. You had one of the best shirtless sections of all of college football at one of your home games, which was really fun to watch. Like this past football season, it was just so much fun. And this team was really fun to follow. But, going back to the best sports moment, I think what this team means to Tucson, Arizona, one of the best teams in Arizona basketball history. And Arizona basketball is, a big reason why so many know about the Arizona Wildcats. The Block A, when you look at that Block A, you think about Arizona men's basketball. And so their run to the Big 12 championship, also to the Final Four, to me, they get best team.
It was so fun to watch them play this year. I like Tommy Lloyd's style of ball. No matter who the players are, they share the ball. They make sure they get paint touches. They try to go inside. It's an old school style of play. This team embraced that style. They really bought into the team concept in a major way. You got some, 2 top 10, top 12 freshmen coming in. You've got established players, and they came together in a really awesome way. And it was a pleasure to watch that team play up until the last game, where hey man, it's sports, it happens. They're human. I would say that men's golf has a chance to crack the code here and break in and steal the trophy. If they can go on a run and actually win the national championship, we might have to revisit this particular category.
Yeah.
If they do that, and we will know whether that's the case by basically the middle of next week.
Are we moonlighting them right now? The Oscars?
Maybe
like
so.
La La Land and Moonlight or something like that.
It was La La. Yeah, it was. Yeah, La La Land was erroneously given the Oscar ever so briefly, and it turned out that Moonlighting was the winner. So in this scenario, then men's basketball is La La Land, right?
Yes.
And then men's tennis conceivably could be yeah. Anyway, so my choice though, as the alternative here is the triathlon team.
Totally.
Won the national championship, right? Like, what more can you say? Won the national championship for the second straight year. Only been in existence for 3 years, 2 out of 3. That's pretty good. And I made the case earlier for tennis having the best moment because they won their championship on campus. You know what's almost as good as that? Maybe better? Winning the national championship at ASU.
Yeah.
Which is the host, which is where the triathlon nationals take place. So they go up there and they win it in Tempe on the Sun Devils' home turf and home water and home whatever. And the ASU finishes in second place. They're not. I'm sure deep down, they take a lot of pride in knowing that not only did they win the national championship, but they beat ASU, which was a previously established program, right?
Yeah.
Multi-time national champion. And Arizona has managed to leapfrog them and win the thing on their home turf. So my choice, alternative choice for the Arizona Athletics Team of the Year, your national champion triathlon squad.
I think there's another clap. Oh, there you go.
It's for all the winners, right?
For all the winners. So yeah, man, you got me rethinking this because here I am like, oh, Arizona men's basketball beat 14 ranked opponents. They had 5 ranked wins in its first 9 games, the first team in college basketball history to do that. But the pettiness of Arizona Triathlon winning a national championship on ASU's home track, man, that's a really good choice. Really good choice, Lev. All right. Congratulations to all the winners. That is it for our Wildcasties Arizona Awards. You can find the story on Tucson.com. Lots of incredible moments this past year, man. We've got, Casino del Sol and McHale Center, or it's going to be Arizona Stadium and McHale Center getting naming rights deals. And Arizona is now getting ready for another year in the Big 12. So lots to look forward to in this upcoming sports season. All right. And we have lots on Tucson.com and the Wildcast mobile app. Make sure you subscribe to Tucson.com today for all the latest in Southern Arizona sports. And once again, a huge thank you to our presenting sponsor of the Wildcast podcast, Pima Federal. Whether you're saving for your first car, buying a home, or growing your business, Pima Federal puts your goals first. They offer personalized solutions, competitive rates, and expert guidance every step of the way. Because at Pima Federal, banking isn't just about money, it's about you. Learn more at pimafederal.org. All right, Lev. Anything down the pipes that we should maybe promote? Oh, we do have our Mount Rushmores coming up.
I was going to say, summer series is coming your way. Mount Rushmores for various Arizona sports. I thought it was so hard. I've got baseball and softball. Narrowing it down to 4 people, and this does not include coaches. Coaches get their own Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
Separate from the sports themselves. But man, I thought it was like freaking impossible to figure out like who those 4 people were. Hopefully people will check those out when they start rolling out here in a little bit, and they will, you give their own opinions.
Yeah, that's what
we
saying.
got right, what we missed. It's all in good fun. But those will be that's our summer series this
summer
year.
project.
So that'll be really cool, and then we're gonna have cool graphical representations of each of the Mount Rushmores too. So that's also something to look forward to.
And we're expecting the debates. We're expecting the emails and the people to provide their counterpoints. And we embrace it. We love it. So
as far as the podcast goes, we're gonna try to get some U of A coaches on over the summer here. Before football starts up in earnest. So no promises on who those people are. We'll let you know kind of as they happen, because people have vacations and so on and so forth. But I'm thinking Danny Gonzalez is having knee surgery, right? So he's going to be like kind of laid up for a month or so. Justin, that one's a must. Like what else does he have to do while he's rehabbing from his knee? And he might be on some kind of painkillers that'll make him like even kind of crazier than usual. But I think that would make for a good podcast,
I tell you what, Lev, I would do Red Rover every play if I could. I'm just thinking of like his leg just propped up in a cast, and like Miss Sandra, his wife, just positions the camera, the laptop right in front of him, and we get Danny Gonzalez unfiltered for an hour. I would love that. Yeah, lots of great things on the football front. We'll have lots of cool content coming your way on Tucson.com and also the Wildcast podcast, which you can subscribe to on Apple and Spotify. And also you can find the video version on Tucson.com. We'll see y'all next week.